Welcome, have a nice day. Today is Monday, 28th of October 2024. From the history point of view, on 28 October 1863, the International Red Cross Committee was formed under a conference held in Geneva. 28 October 1886, the then United States President Grover Cleveland formally unveiled the Statue of Liberty gifted from the France as a symbol of friendship. In Indian history, on 28 October 1627, Mughal emperor and son of Akbar Jahangir died at Rajouri in Kashmir. Starting the newspaper analysis with the newspaper, The Hindu states that Russian forces attempted a cross-border assault from Ukraine. Official says tankers from 33rd Separate Mechanized Brigade of the Ukrainian ground forces arrived on a Leopard 2A4 tank during a field training at an undisclosed location in Ukraine on October 27, 2024, amid the Russian invasion on Ukraine. A local official says Russian forces have thwarted and attempted at another cross-border incursion from Ukraine into southwestern Russia. Russian forces thwarted an attempt at another cross-border incursion by Ukraine into southwestern Russia. A local official reported Sunday, months after Kyiv staged a bold assault on its nuclear-armed enemy, that the Moscow is still struggling to halt. An armored group sought Sunday to breach at the border between the Ukraine and Russia's Bryansk region. Its governor Alexander Bogomaz said, but was beaten back. Bogomaz did not clarify whether Ukrainian soldiers carried out the alleged attack, but claimed on Sunday evening that the situation was stable and under control by the Russian military. The region neighbors Kursk province, where Ukraine launched a surprise push on August 6 that rattled the Kremlin and constituted the largest attack on Russia since the World War II. Hundreds of Russian pioneers were blindfolded and fared away in trucks in the opening moments of the lightning advance, and Ukraine's battle-hardened units swiftly pressed on across hundreds of square miles of territory. Responsibility for previous incursions into the Russia's Belgorod and Bryansk regions has been claimed by the two murky groups, the Russian Volunteer Corps and the Freedom of Russia Legion. Russian officials and state media have sought to downplay the significance of Kyiv's thunderous run in Kursk, but the country's forces have so far been unable to dislodge Ukrainian troops from the province. Western officials have speculated that Moscow may send troops from North Korea to bolster its effort to do so, stoking the almost 3-year war and bringing the geopolitical consequences as far away as the Indo-Pacific region. Caught in intersections, the Harris multicultural tent, the Trump finance campaign seeks to drive a wedge between numerous interactions that form the mesh of democratic politics this season. They have a woman who is black, although you would say she is Indian, but she is black. A lot of people did not know, said Republican nominee in the United States presidential race, Donald Trump, in a recent podcast. He was bringing up his opponent and the United States Vice President Kamala Harris's race yet again. By raking up this issue periodically, Mr. Trump has been trying to sharpen the fault lines in the multicultural tent that the Democratic Party fashions itself as. Democrats hope Ms. Harris's multiple identity tags, Indian, African American, and woman, could help fuse these voting groups in her favor. But conflicts between these collectives are real, and Mr. Trump is playing on these ahead of voting day on November 5. Going towards the Hindustan Times newspaper states that secretive Iranian military base is damaged in Israel's first open attack. Satellite image shows a Khojur rocket motor casting facility near Tehran, Iran, October 24, 2024. An Israeli attack on the Iran damaged facilities at a secretive military base southeast of the Iranian capital that experts in the past have linked to Tehran's one-time nuclear weapon program and at another base tied to its ballistic missile program. Satellite photos analyzed Sunday by the Associated Press show some of the buildings damaged set on Iran's Parchin military base, while the International Atomic Energy Agency suspects Iran in the past conducted tests of high explosives that could trigger a nuclear weapon. Iran long has insisted its nuclear program is peaceful, though IAEA, Western Intelligence Agency, and others says Tehran has an active weapons program up until 2003. The other damage could be seen at the nearby the Khojar military base, which analysts believe hides an underground tunnel system and missile production sites. India opened a global bid to avoid animal trials for new drugs. Animal testing is a decades-old practice and typically occurs during the preclinical research, forming a crucial bridge between the laboratory discoveries and human trials. India's medicines regulator is examining the feasibility of decreasing reliance on animal studies in drug trials, according to the people familiar with the matter, who said the plan aligns with the global shift towards the alternative testing methods driven by the scientific, ethical, and the other concerns regarding animal studies. Animal testing is decades old practice and typically occurs during the preclinical research, forming a crucial bridge between the laboratory discoveries and human trials before any new drug research reaches human subjects. Researchers first test it in at least two different animal species, usually mice and rare rats, followed by larger mammals like dogs or primitives. A central government official who asked not to be named said there are now global conservations on the tweaking this approach. The entire system of the drug trials and regulatory framework is undergoing transformation worldwide, and India is no exception. While completely eliminating animal models may not be feasible, the global focus is on the reducing dependence on animal studies, said this person. Hindustan Times. Now, going towards the economy of the country from the business point of view, India's reliance on imported oil, natural gas grows as a stagnant and domestic production lags demand growth. Import dependency in the case of the natural gas was 51.5% in the first 6 months of financial year 2025, up from 46.8% in a year ago and 47.1% for the full financial year 2024. India's crude oil imports rose to 120.5 million tons in H1 from 115.9 million in the year ago period. MDB's push for lending expansion but falls short of tripling targets. G20 Independent Export Group. The G20 Independent Export Group report card on the strengthening the MDBs. An incomplete grade has come after a year of the setting up of the expert group on MDBs under the G20 Indian presidency that had a 15th Finance Commission Chairman N.K. Singh and former United States Treasury Secretary Lawrence Summers as co-conveners. On the group's recommendation of the tripling of concessional finance channel through the MDBs to the poorest countries, the report said there are few signs of any meaningful rise. Ratan Tata's journey overcoming adversity and redefining leadership at Tata Group. When the layers of this passionately private personality that Ratan is are unpeeled for history. He emerged as a fierce capitalist who was driven paradoxically by the need to fulfill the goals of an implacable socialist heart, says Thomas Matthew, author of the biography Ratan Tata Life. On Nature, the biography says just as Ratan expects people to trust him, he too easily trusts others. Now going towards the world news, including President Joe Biden to vote in United States presidential election on Monday, at Donald Trump's made his son Oscar Gardner earlier appearance by wife Melania Trump. Chinese hackers collected in audio from unnamed Trump campaign advisor report. Kamala Harris unconcerned by the Trump talks with the Netanyahu and aim at the Middle East conflict. Amazon founder Jeff Bezos faces backlash over editorial decision aimed at Trump links. Is climate change lighting a fuse under Iceland's volcanoes? Going towards science and tech, we have sustainability science for FMCGs. The Anusandhan National Research Foundation and the BioE3 Biotechnology for Economy, Environment and Employment. Policy are the right ways of moving towards our bio-based economy linked to a strong partnership between the academia and industry. FMCGs should be a priority target sector for ANRF. The new public-private partnership initiative and the BioE3 policy of the government. India's new PPP initiative, the Anusandhan National Research Foundation, ANRF, established to promote research and development, and the recently announced BioE3 Biotechnology for the Economy, Environment and Employment policy emphasized the need for academia, industry partnership and the role of the bioeconomy in driving the economy while honoring India's commitment to sustainable development and the climate action. Specifically, the BioE3 policy notes the need to convert chemical-based industries to sustainable bio-based industrial models. It also provides an opportunity to revisit the impact of the new technologies on existing industries such as fast-moving consumer goods (FMCGs). Doctors struggle to treat long COVID patients in India. Researchers point to inadequate studies. The ultrastructural morphology exhibited by the 2019 novel coronavirus 2019 nCoV, which was identified as the cause of the outbreak of respiratory illness, first detected in Wuhan, China, is seen in an illustration released by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention (CDC) in Atlanta, Georgia, United States. Global efforts to understand and manage a long COVID post-pandemic with the varied symptoms and limited treatment guidelines worldwide. Doctors in India are grappling to diagnose and treat unexplained and persistent symptoms of the long COVID patients due to the limited guidelines, whereas researchers have flagged inadequate studies on the condition. With the World Health Organization declaring an end to the COVID-19 as a global health emergency in the May month last year, focused efforts are underway around the world to estimate the burden of the long COVID among the population. The condition refers to the set of the lingering symptoms affecting various body parts and persisting well beyond the acute COVID infection period, including cough, muscle and joint pain, fatigue, brain fog, and difficulty in focusing. The viral disease caused by the SARS-CoV-2 virus. While studies have suggested that about a third of those moderately or severely affected are likely to suffer from long COVID, region-wise, though incidence could vary. A study by researchers, including those from Harvard Medical School, United States, estimated that 31% of the once infected people in the North America, 44% in the Europe, and 51% in the Asia have long COVID, which is challenging the healthcare system. But there are limited guidelines for its treatment. It was published in the International Journal of Infectious Disease in September month. In India, however, studies on long COVID are few and far between. One such study by Maulana Azad Medical College in New Delhi, conducted from May month of 2022 to March 2023 on 553 patients who had recovered from COVID, found that about 45% had lingering symptoms, persistent fatigue and dry cough being the most common. At last, there's a famous quotation by a famous personality, Sir Syed Ahmed Khan, birth anniversary 17 October 1817 up to 27th of March 1898, also spelled Syed Ahmed Khan, was an Indian Muslim reformer who was a philosopher and educationist in the 19th century during the British India. Sir Syed maintains a strong legacy in Pakistan and among the Indian Muslims. He became a source of inspiration for the Pakistan movement and its activists, including Allama Iqbal and Muhammad Ali Jinnah. His advocacy of the Islam's rationalist tradition and a broader radical reinterpretation of the Quran to make it compatible with the science and modernity, continues to influence the global Islamic reformation. Many universities and the public buildings in Pakistan bear the Sir Sayyid's name, and Aligarh Muslim University celebrated Sir Sayyid's 200th birthday century with much enthusiasm on 17th October 2017. Former President of India, Pranab Mukherjee, was the chief guest. Sir Sayyid Ahmad Khan says a very famous quotation as he says that when a nation becomes devoid of art and learning, it invites poverty. And when poverty comes, it brings in its wake thousands of crimes. Okay, thank you.